Creamers! What's up, Creamers? It's me, Hot Joe, and I'm here to tee the tea, like TT, about some PW. I'm here to talk the turkey, like Ted Turner, about professional wrestling.
Everybody needs help sometimes, no matter how rich and powerful you are.
I'm going to talk about the 4 pillars of All Elite Wrestling, and I don't believe they really are the 4 pillars of AEW. I think the 4 pillars of AEW are somebody else. All that on this episode of Room 4. Welcome back to the show. It is me, Hot Joe. AEW is a wrestling promotion where the illustrious, beautiful history of professional wrestling is not just celebrated, but it is also canon. They draw a lot of their inspiration from Japanese wrestling, and specifically for today's video, 1990s All Japan Pro Wrestling. See, in All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s, there were 4 men dubbed the 4 Pillars of Heaven. Those men were Mitsuharu Misawa, Kento Kobashi, Toshiaki Kawada, and Akira Taue. These 4 men, wrestling the King's Road style in All Japan Pro Wrestling, are among the greatest wrestlers of all time. All Elite Wrestling has dubbed 4 men the 4 pillars of AEW. Those men are Jack Perry, MJF, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara. The 4 pillars of heaven, they really cemented All Japan Pro Wrestling as a top promotion in Japan, and I love all 4 of those guys, but I don't know that they do the same. I think that AEW markets them as the 4 pillars because from day one they viewed those 4 guys as the future stars of AEW, but I don't personally see how that makes them the pillars. I think the pillars of AEW are 4 men who are like the foundation of AEW, and they couldn't build this legacy without them. And I, with all due love and respect for those guys, I don't know that that's them. I think the 4 pillars of AEW are Jon Moxley. Moxley has been with AEW since the very first Double or Nothing event in 2019. He's the 2nd ever world champion, and he reinvigorated his career after a not so great, at least creatively speaking, run in WWE.
What is that smell? That reeks. That is a horrible stench. What is that?
He is very reliable, and AEW has leaned on him through rough times more than once because of his level of performance, his grit, and most importantly, because the AEW fanbase loves and adores the guy. Sure, he's been memed because he bleeds in literally every single match, but he bleeds black and gold, baby! And he really has become the heart of All Elite Wrestling. My number 2 pillar of AEW is Kenny Omega. AEW likely wouldn't exist if it weren't for the Bullet Club, and if it weren't for Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 12. Considered by many to be one of, if not the best wrestler in the world, Kenny Omega is viewed by the AEW fans as a wrestling machine. He's rarely had a match in AEW that isn't amazing, and his feud with Jon Moxley in the early days of AEW really cemented the idea that being the best wrestler in a promotion with the best roster in professional wrestling is an important feat. My 3rd pillar of AEW is our favorite Hangman, Hangman Adam Page. Hangman is viewed by many AEW fans as the main character of All Elite Wrestling. We watched him grow from a depressed millennial who doesn't believe he's good enough to finally capturing the top prize in the promotion. As fans, we viewed him as ourselves. And so when he was depressed, when he was down, we felt like we were down. And when he finally rose up and became the World Heavyweight Champion, we felt like we did as well. Most of the time, when you want to see a wrestler succeed, you want to see a wrestler become the world champion to prove that they're the best wrestler in the world. But with with Hangman Adam Page, our favorite Hangman, we just wanted him to finally see that he was good enough because, God damn it, we knew he was. And my fourth pillar of All Elite Wrestling, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Yes, one of the men who is considered the four pillars by AEW, I do also believe is one of the four pillars of AEW. MJF is the most successful homegrown star in AEW. In the first few years of All Elite Wrestling, he was the best bad guy professional wrestling has seen in literal decades. Every rivalry he's had has been some of the best in modern professional wrestling, including his feuds with CM Punk and his feud with Cody Rhodes. But as the AEW World Champion, we watched him grow in ring, having arguably the best Iron Man match of all time with Bryan Danielson and the best four-way match with Darby Allin, Jack Perry, and Sammy Guevara. He's also drawn in a lot of lapsed fans with his character work because he gives you a bad guy to cheer against like you've not had in, again, literal decades. So I think that he is one of the four pillars. Those are my four pillars. It was kind of hard to think of them because I do feel like Chris Jericho should probably be on that list because he was a very important star in the beginning of AEW, and probably Cody Rhodes too. But you know, this is my list. What do you, if you don't agree with it, why don't you comment below and why don't you tell me who you think of the four pillars of All Elite Wrestling? And don't forget to like and subscribe and copy the URL and send it to every single contact in your phone and tell them that if they don't watch it, like and subscribe and send it to everybody on their contact list, then you're going to go to their house and you're going to beat the shit out of them in front of their family. I love you, Creamers, and I wish you the best.